Alright guys, this is Doc M with another Minecraft video, and today it's an amazing one. Today we're gonna show you and do a tutorial for the ultimate Selector powered villager trading hall. First of all, big shout outs to Methods. He's the father of this creation. Thank you very much. Amazing design. And yeah, make sure in the video description there's links to the Selector people, to server tours of them and so on. If you're into technical Minecraft, you definitely should check it out after you watch the tutorial here. And yeah, let's start. Let's go into the features of the trading hall. So first of all, this is a 64 villager trading hall. You can make it bigger, but yeah, 64 should be a sufficient number to catch most trades you want. And yeah, here you have the villagers lined up perfectly for you, and on top you have an item frame with a book, and the book is renamed in an anvil, so it shows you what trade we are going for. We are only going for mending here. And yeah, that's a nice way to see what you can get from this villager. Nice hover over. And yeah, how you trade, you just pick a villager here. Oh, I used this one before. And yeah, you take some paper, for in this case, and do your trading. Get your emeralds for whatever you want to trade. And yeah, simply go through that. Secondly, you see these blocks on top, red and green. There's actually block swappers integrated in the system, so I can press this button here and the block will switch to green. That means you have a perfect villager in this trading booth, in this individual booth, and you don't want to switch him out ever again. I will include in the video description a link to a spreadsheet that will show you all the trades for all villagers and the perfect numbers for them, because obviously you want to be as cheap as possible while doing the trades. There's a special feature in this trading hall as well. Back here you have farmer villagers, and from those you will get your main emerald trading going. And yeah, pick a farmer and trade with him, and you will trade pumpkins, potatoes and carrots with a villager like that. And the system, we will show you later, is hooked up in a way that it automatically refills your trading shulker boxes here with new stuff. And yeah, over here you have a buffer for all your trading needs, and it's really cool. Like, let's empty this whole shulker box here, and you can see it gets broken and a new full shulker box comes back here. And the old ones end up in here, where you can then grab him and refill him in your various farms you got going on. So let's quickly delete all the carrots from my inventory. And yeah, over here you have two shulker boxes for your emeralds you get, and you can use them then later to trade more. Obviously, the trading hall also can be reset. Let's say this villager here is okay, but we found a better one in our other system out there. We will show you in a second. Then you just press the button here, send the villager away, and yeah, he will be killed and goes up here, killed here, and the minecarts will be recycled into the system. So a trading hall is one thing, but to every trading hall you need a good villager selector. And that's the setup here. That's the so-called villager Tinder, and really nifty system. So let's start up here. Let's say you have your villager breeder somewhere, and eventually your villagers end up here. There's various designs for villager breeders, good ones, bad ones, halfway decent ones. Whatever you want to use is up to you. And they end up in here. And now you want to prejudge villagers, and you do this with this setup here. So you walk in, check the villager. Oh, he's a Fletcher. Probably don't need a Fletcher at the moment. Then you could go right for no. The villager will go away, will die, and a new one will be here for selection. Here we have a farmer. Say, okay, yeah, we want to keep the farmer. So you go left and he's actually now sent off into the trading hall, and here was the first unoccupied slot, and yep, there he ends up, and you can trade from here. Enemy is doing some selections here, as you can see. If a villager is accepted, he will end up in the trading hall, and we cycle through. As soon as a villager is in there, the next slot will be occupied. The villagers take half a heart of damage in this setup, but it's neglectable, no problem. Always keep in mind, when you trade with villagers, they will regain health and will regenerate. And yeah, let's say we do a no, for example now. You can see the minecart instantly goes back up here, gets broken and sent back into the system. And here we grab villagers. We have this 5x5 chamber up here because of the entity cramming that is active in Minecraft. As you know, if you have more than 24 entities / villagers in a 1x1, for example, they would start to suffocate and die. So that's why a bigger chamber is needed to pick him up. Yeah, and that's the whole system. And I'd say we look into that, do a nice tutorial, and then you can replicate that in your own worlds and trade the heck out of villagers. So let's get going. Alright guys, so let's start building here. And yeah, first of all, the dimensions for a setup like that, you need 17 blocks width and 13 blocks height here. If you want to build this thing underground and you want to get everything in there, of course you can also build it overground, but in general a good idea to do all your villager stuff underground and really cap it off, because yeah, zombies do weird stuff, they can glitch and whatnot, so to be safe, better have it in a nice locked up room. And yeah, the basic dimensions for the trading hall here is you have this middle, and you want to have some light sources in here, of course, do whatever you want. And then you go 4 blocks out to the side and 1 block up, and then you just mirror this on top here. And you will have your individual trading slots right here, so that works out. So to build these slots, you just go ahead and place a button on the front of this block here, and you come in with 2 blocks like so. And then on top, you want to place a rail right there, and you got to keep it like that for now. I'll show you in a second why. And then on top of this rail, you place some soul sand. And what you want to do now is get an observer facing down, and a sticky piston here, a block behind, and you start with a powered rail like that. So that is your first cell, almost completed. Last thing you need is string. You can see that triggers and pulls this over, so maybe place the string first. If you build it in survival, it's a bit less tedious. And now we're going to build the second slice right next to it. So you pretty much repeat what you just did. Same thing. And then place 2 rails here like so. Come on top. Get your observer again. Facing up. Get your string in. Right there, and then you do your combo here, sticky piston, block, and now you want to use a detector rail, and you want to keep this pattern up all the way to the end of your trading cell, so you always switch between powered rail and activator rail here. So that'll work. And last but not least, you keep on going like this, build a few more slices, and now after you did that, you can break blocks. Now, here you should always have those blocks done already. That'll help a lot, because depending on your direction, rails can flip around, and yeah, you'll have a hard time getting it all right if you don't put the rails in there right away. Last but not least, you want to power these rails. So you grab a lever and put that right here, power it, and get some power into these rails, because yeah, when a villager falls down, obviously you want to send him out forward. And to finish an individual cell off, you want to put either a carpet or a trapdoor here. This makes sure, in case a baby zombie somehow magically gets into your trading hall, you cannot jump up there and go in there and kill your villagers. So yeah, this is the basic setup for the individual trading slots. And yeah, now we're gonna build the rest here. Just keep on doing what we did here. Next up would be powered rail again, and activate rail, power rail, switch it out, and yeah, we'll see you with the ejection setup then. Alright guys, so we have all our slices in here. Always keep in mind, rails behave directionally, and it might vary a little bit, and it might be a little bit of trial and error for you. But now let's go for the ejection setup. So, you know, let's say you don't want to keep a villager, right, and you want to send him away. So what you simply do is go down, place 4 blocks like that, and repeat that all the way to the back. And next up, you want to place powered rails in here like that. And in this direction we're building now, I'll show you which one that is right away. You want to come down here and put levers down and power that. As I said, depending on the direction, and we are facing south, so north to south. You need that. If you go east to west, you don't. But yeah, you'll see when you build your trading hall. I recommend just building it facing south like we did here. And yeah, power tracks like that, and then you start putting rails in. And to get the shape you want, you always have to go 1 block further and then come back. See, like that. So you end up with these bendy rails bending forward, and last but not least, you kind of come out here and place another block, and yeah, put the rail on there. And then of course you want to power these rails as well, so you just put some levers down here and come across, power them all. And yeah, now if a minecart falls down, even in this furthest slot here, it will make its way all the way to the front here. And yeah, now you simply place the same thing here on the other side, completely mirrored, and we'll be back with more. Alright guys, so now we already have a fully functional trading hall actually. Would work, and you could come up with your own designs for the look and whatever. But yeah, now let's do the block swapper. It is an optional part, but I really think it's a crucial part, because let's say you have a really big trading hall like this, you really can get confused which villages are good, which do I want to keep. You might have to put signs up there and whatnot. So the block swapper setup is actually a really good thing to do. And yeah, to do that, you just place a row of buttons right here next to the middle. And yeah, then simply start off with activator rail and powered rail, switching off and, you know, going all the way back as far as you want. Definitely put a piston here, sticky piston. Definitely put an observer facing upwards right there on top of the rail. If you don't know this trick, but observers detect state updates of rails, and if you press the button here, this rail will power and send a signal up to this guy. So that works just fine. Next thing, that's how I did it. I placed sticky piston here, and this is the block that's gonna be swapped out. And yeah, now you want to come in, place a half slab here. That works. And you need another observer facing over, so you need a block there like this. Any helper block will do. Then you place this block back. Those are the blocks that are getting swapped out pretty much. And yeah, now you want to place a few more sticky pistons. One facing down like so will trigger again, and one sitting right here. And now you want to come in, full block here, full block there, get a repeater, and last but not least, we need to trigger this guy over here. So you can build out a little bit like so, and put an observer in there facing downwards, and that is the completed block swapper for you now. So last but not least, you need your block back in here, and if you press the button now, maybe somebody can do that real quick so we can see this thing in action. It does exactly that, and press it again. So you see it works in both ways, and you have your block swapper. And now simply repeat this here right next to each other, and here on the other side. Of course, make sure to have activator rail, powered rail right there, and your buttons on the below. And yeah, that should be the block swapper for you. Alright, so the block swappers are in, works in both directions obviously. Tileable design, really useful, could be maybe used in other setups you want to build. And now it's time to build the villager judger. We called it villager Tinder because yeah, you swipe left and right. Yeah, leave some space here in between a few blocks. That is kind of up to you, really depends how your layout is. And what you want to do is have two sides, green and red. Green is to keep, red is to send away. And put two pressure plates here. I recommend iron pressure plates, looks really good. And yeah, build up here, and right there is pretty much where your villagers will be. And yeah, now it's just a matter of some piston wiring, really simple. Sticky piston right there, and same thing here on the other side. And you want to put a full block at the end of those pistons. Then you come in and place two blocks here. So now I recommend using stairs, whatever stairs you want to use. Let's use wood stairs to make it really ugly. And you place them in right here, because stairs will not suffocate you, and you might take some damage if you use full blocks right here. So now you want to frame that all in with your red and green on both sides, and probably also want to continue that on the ceiling here. Just looks nice, and just like that. And you come over here, do the same thing, and you want to have two blocks sitting right there. Okay, let's make it green so we don't get our OCD people offended. And yeah, same thing here, red block there. Close it off so you have this nice little chamber. And now it's just some simple wiring. What you want to do is you come down one block below this extracting block here, and you put another full block here, and then you take some slabs, come up like that. And also make sure you have a slab here, that's really important, otherwise you get some butt power. Do the same thing over here. So go down one block, come up like that, and then you just use this to get the wire up on top. And what you do now is get a redstone wire all the way across, like so, and all the way down up to here. And what will happen now, maybe enemy, you can quickly go into the judger or method and trigger it. So you can see you have an instant push here from the piston. The idea is, if you're in there, you always want to be centered, you know, you don't want to waste time going too far left and right. And this is what this little setup does for you. And now there is some more redstone wiring needed for the actual villager injection and certain triggers we need. Alright guys, now it's time to do the villager holding design and the villager cycler pretty much for the Tinder. So what you want to do is you want to come behind your setup here, build out like that, and put an activator rail on here. This is where the villagers will sit, and you can look through your little window here and judge them. Don't judge me, but we judge villagers. And yeah, to hold the villagers in place, you want to have a fence gate right here. You can remove that now, and get some redstone in. So let's grab some and wire that down here. That already is enough to trigger this and get it working. And we need another one up here, another fence gate right on top, so you always have another villager waiting here ready to be extracted. What you want to do now is build out like that, and you need a repeater. Let's quickly grab one from here and put it in here. This repeater will trigger this trapdoor up there, and it's delayed slightly, so you should have no problems with your villagers. And then out here you want to build out your track, and you want to have powered rail here. Oh man, I'm not prepared. Here, give me that powered rail. And you want to build out 5 blocks from there for now. It should be good enough. And lastly, you want to remove this here and put some full blocks in there. And that's the working system already. If somebody could trigger it now, you will see you have the 2 fence gates trigger, and yeah, that's how it works. Villager gets sent off and another one falls down right away. Alright, so now we need to actually put some functionality in the system. Right now you could just cycle through but not select villages. The yes side is very easy, the no side is a bit more complicated. So if you select no, we want the villager to be ejected to this block here. And then we also need to retract this block again to get rid of the villagers. This is just how entity ejection works in this game. It is always a bit weird. So what you do, put a full block here and a piston there, and then you go under the setup like this and you put a block in right here and you put a piston on there and you put a redstone block there. That makes sure we have this piston here extended and the villagers will be able to push out of here. Now we need to wire it up, so when you do a no selection, so on this red side here, this block gets activated and the villager gets pushed on here, and as soon as he's on there, you want to retract that from under his feet. So if you look, you have the activator rail right here. So you build out a block below and put a redstone dot here. So now we need to power that. Alright, so we said we want to power this little redstone dot here, so the activator rail actually gets triggered. Let's go ahead and do that. So you go below the block that has the redstone dot and you come over here and put a repeater down. Next up, you want to have 2 helper blocks. You can leave them or remove them, that's right up to you. And you put a sideways sticky piston with a block on top, and the sideways sticky piston is pretty much a sideways monostable, if you may say so. I put 2 repeaters in there. This one is on the first setting, and now we need to get a signal from the no side. So make sure to come below the no side, go down like this and over, and wire that all together like so. So whenever there is a no selection, now we get a signal down. And last but not least, of course, we also want to retract the floor under the villager as soon as he is there. To do that, yeah, we bring the power over on first setting here, and now if you trigger the no side, you can see all kinds of stuff is happening. Maybe do it again. Activator rail gets a 1 tick pulse, and yeah, this thing is retracted from under the feet of the villager, and yeah, that is your no side completed. Relatively simple redstone there, relatively complex mechanics, but you know, that's what we do, make good redstone. Okay, so the no side selection is done. Obviously now you want to frame this setup in, right? Because you don't want the villagers to be ejected somewhere else, and sometimes entity ejection from minecarts is weird, to say the least. But yeah, with this setup you should always have your villager be ejected to there, and below here, as this block will be pulled out under the feet of the villager, you definitely want to have something to kill them. I don't know, a lava pit or just fall damage, whatever. That's the no side done. And for the yes side, it's actually relatively simple, because if you keep a villager in a minecart, you just need to detect if a minecart that comes along here actually has a passenger. So what you do, I told you 5 blocks out, timing is crucial in this case. You build up 2 blocks like so, knock this out again, and you do the same thing on the other side. Don't need no blocks below that, and 2 tripwire hooks and a tripwire. So when an entity comes along here and rides the minecart, it will actually trigger the system. What you do now is you go below here, go 2 blocks over, and you extend your track here for a little bit, bring that up and have another block here, come in with a repeater and hook up some redstone, just like that. And right here we will have a little junction. So what you do is build out 1 block, and then you can actually go up, put some more powered rail in there, a normal rail that can actually switch. This leads up, and of course you also go straight here, which will lead to the minecart to the actual storage hall later. This will lead to the recycler. And yeah, last but not least, of course, you want to power this track here too. So you can put a lever below there, put it below so there is no issues with any other redstone wire. And what you want to do right here, you want to put a lever to power this junction. Yeah, I put some redstone dust on top here, which is actually not needed. You can save on one redstone dust. And yeah, that is your junction here. And now if we'd send a villager riding a minecart in, you would see it would go in a different direction. So let's say we have an empty minecart here coming along. You see, we'll just go up. And if it was me riding the minecart, whee, I go straight. So that works. And yeah, now we just need to hook that all up to the trading hall. Alright, now you can connect from your junction the straight part into your villager trading hall. Bring that rail up however you want. I just did it here. It doesn't matter how, but important is that you actually go straight into the soul sand here. Don't connect it to the track over there. That will not work. You need to come into the soul sand so the minecart actually gets sucked down, and then, you know, the system will trigger. Obviously, if an empty minecart goes in there, if the system fails for some reason, yeah, you saw what happens. It will trigger twice because the tripwire in there doesn't stay powered, and thus, yeah, you just send the minecart out and request a new one. I don't know, maybe an entity glitched out or something. So it's really fail-proof. And yeah, from here, you go back all the way on the soul sand, and you want to bring the minecarts over here to be able to load the other side. How to do that? Well, relatively simple. You build up here, and now you simply bring your track over to the other side, up to here, and yeah, put your track on. And what happens is, if this cell is loaded, you will have a track here, and as you see, it connects upwards. So that is exactly what we want. So the villager will end up here and then be pushed over to the other side. And right there, what you gotta do is you build out like so, remove this track here, and you slap down 3 tracks, then the top track, and now you can remove these again and get your tracks back you had before. Full block behind, you can knock this out, and obviously you wanna power this guy here, so you know the villager gets propelled into this direction. Also, you wanna power this here somewhere. A good way to do it is maybe come up 1 block here and put some levers on somewhere. I mean, it doesn't matter in the end. You can have one back here, for example. That would work. Let's see how far that reaches actually. Yeah, and probably want to place one. Where would be a good place? Right here. That'll work. No, it powers the piston. Where is a good place to power this guy here from? Where did we do it on the original setup? Yeah. We go up and do it in the middle. Yeah, actually that's better to do it like that. That's the safe bet. So you just do something like that, and then you get the power all the way. Okay, we can also remove this here then. Don't need that. Here we go. So that powers the whole track. And just to be sure, you definitely want to have a block here on the end, because yeah, otherwise the minecart could theoretically fly off, but shouldn't happen without the block. But yeah, better be safe than sorry. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's the whole thing wired up. Yeah, you want to have this track here, and now your villager cells would be ready to be loaded. Sweet. Alright, so now it's time to build the villager holding cell, you know, the entity cramming chamber setup we have. So from the trapdoor here, you want to go up 3 blocks at least. More is not necessarily recommended because, yeah, you might give your villagers some fall damage. You don't want that. So yeah, simply build up like that. And do the same thing here. And we make sure the villagers fall in place properly. What you want to do on this side, you want to have a full block here and you want to have a full block there, with a rail on there, because yeah, villagers will bump against that and then fall down. You can also build that up a little bit further, and yeah, now simply put some floor blocks in and you get a dispenser right there facing the track. This is for the minecarts, and then you come in with 4 of those hoppers here. And what you need to do now is build a 5x5 for the villagers to stand in. So 1, 5 blocks out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, and fill that in here nicely. You could use glass if you want to, or whatever, if you want to look from below. And now it's important to build a too high wall around the whole thing, because there will be water and villagers will be jumping, and you don't really want them to jump out of your setup. So just frame that in like so, all the way around. Also fill in the corners. There can always be some glitchiness, and also a zombie or whatever could run up into the corner and touch your villagers, and that is always bad. You don't want no villager touching. And yeah, close it off on top here. Also a block here, so villagers cannot run into that and block your minecarts or whatever. So yeah, now you want to grab yourself some water. Where is water buckets now? Hey, give me a water bucket. Okay, and put it in the opposite corner of where your track is, and you will see the water will flow out nicely. And just leave this one corner spot here where most of the villagers will get pushed to over time and will be grabbed if a minecart is dispensed from here. What you want to do now is you want to bring the power up from the judger. I suggest you go out like 2 blocks like that, and also you want to have a lever right here that powers this track, and then you come over and then you just simply do the good old half slab staircase trick to get your power up like so. Actually wait, you cannot go by here because the lever will power. So what you want to do is maybe bring it over a little bit further like so, and put that here so you don't accidentally power your redstone here. You don't want that. And yeah, that's it. So every time you trigger the whole setup, a new minecart will be dispensed from here and grab the villagers. Alright, next thing you want to do, we want to build the minecart recycler. And to do so, this is for empty minecarts that will make their way up here. So you just simply build a staircase up like so and go into a 2 wide straight here. Very important that you do so. And then you put tracks going up like this. So what happens is the minecart will come up here and then make its way over here. This block ends up on the height of your hoppers here. You break out the corner, by the way, I put in a ceiling on top of the villager holding cell. Your input would be here, for example, on the outer corner. So that works. No problemo. And yeah, this is the input from your villager breeder. Really simple. And yeah, now we need to build a simple minecart breaker. I recommend using a chest here to have some buffer for more minecarts in the future. And what you want to do is you want to come below here, put a piece of sand down, put a cactus down, glass block on top, and then take a hopper facing into the chest and another hopper facing into this hopper. I recommend using 2 here, it's more reliable. And then you just bring your track out all the way to here, and now every empty minecart that comes up here will be broken and recycled. And of course you want to have a lever and put it somewhere here along the way to make sure this track is powered. Now we need to build another recycling system for minecarts. That is the one that comes up from your ejection setup. Let's say you don't want to keep a villager, right? and you want to get rid of them too. And we're going to use the same setup up here to get our minecarts back into the system. So what you do is place another hopper here and a pressure plate on top, and then you create a little frame like this, and you put lava in there right here and on top. So you want to have a block capping it off, otherwise villagers could potentially swim up and get out of the system. And yeah, now all that is left to do is connect the rails coming out of the ejection area of your trading hall to the setup here. And to do so, you simply make another staircase leading down like so, however deep you have to go. Let's go a bit further down all the way, and then you put tracks on there leading up again. And what will happen is, if a minecart comes up here, and yeah, we can use this lever here to power this track too, they will glitch through and make their way up there. And now you somehow want to connect these rails here to that setup, so bring that over like so and connect it and put tracks on there, obviously all the way. And of course you also want to grab the other side here, and I recommend going down one block here and then around the corner, so like this, and then over all the way and up to here again. So yeah, just put some tracks down like this. This will send your villagers around, and what we need is normal track here for the little bendy parts. And yeah, I don't know, put a lever here to power it all, put one in the middle so it goes all the way. Here we need one too. Just make sure your track is powered, obviously, otherwise will not work. And there we go. So now if you send a villager out, it will come through here and end up there. I can demonstrate that to you with the setup here. So we sent this guy out. You see he's making his way up, glitching through and getting ejected into here while the minecart is broken and sucked up by the system again. So yeah, that is your very basic trading hall done now. Last but not least, we want to add the villager special trading area back here for the farmer villagers. Alright guys, we're nearing the end here of our build, and yeah, what we're gonna do now is do the special trading area for the farmer villagers with the automatic shulker box refilling system. So what you want to do is you want to come to the end of your trading hall. Over there is the tinder, so this is the end for us now. And yeah, at least leave 2 blocks space here, because you want to have the chests and things in there as we showed you in the original setup. And what you do is you place 3 regular pistons here. Those are the ones breaking your shulker boxes. Then you want to go down 3 blocks here, and you want to get observers facing upwards in here like so. So with the red dot up there, and you want to place a droppers, 3 droppers here. Those droppers will hold your shulker boxes. Also, you want to put down 3 dispensers. It's important that it is dispensers, not droppers. And those dispensers will dispense your shulker boxes when empty. So what you want to do is you want to grab your shulker boxes. This one is a full one, and preload here a little bit. You want to put at least 1 in there. That is important for the setup to work, and it's best to do it now. Later it can be a bit tedious. So now if you come out from here, you want to build a few. See, they're all full now. Method is doing the job. So your villagers will be sitting here on half slabs like so, right? So 2 blocks out, and we first want to place the rails now actually, because that is a bit tricky, so they face in the actual right direction. So if you do this, you'll see you get weirdness, right? So it's a bit complicated, so Method can do that real quick. Watch what he does. You place the one side first, then 1 in the middle, then knock these out, 2 more, one there, and back. If you're unsure how to do this, just replay that, but I thought it's best to see it from on top. Yep, they're in there now, so that's a good thing. So yeah, let's continue with the build here. What you want to do next is you want to get hoppers, and you want to build out here a little bit. Place a hopper here for now, and have hoppers facing into each other, obviously, otherwise it won't work. And you need some comparators, and you want to put the comparators right on there. Those are the comparators that will check for shulker boxes, right, if they're full or empty. Next up, some sticky pistons right on here, and yeah, also you want to get some redstone blocks on those sticky pistons, like so. And yeah, last but not least, yeah, now there's a shulker box up there. We want to have more sticky pistons right there. So let's do this. Get them in here. Whoop. Boom. And now I should still have a filled box. Yep, if I placed it down here, the system will be primed and ready. So now what happens if this thing goes away? You will get a new one. Bam. Easy peasy. So we're done with that. Now, before we frame everything in, we definitely want to get the minecarts in here. There needs to be hopper minecarts sitting on top here of this hopper chain to make sure all the shulker boxes are reliably picked up. The hoppers here alone can be sometimes a bit tricky and won't suck up all the shulker boxes. So to do so, you go on top here, right on top pretty much, and place 3 blocks. And now you take a cobble wall that is just for alignment if you want to have it super perfect, and put the cobble wall here, and then 2 tracks, and obviously we need to go a little bit further out so the tracks actually align properly. And then you take hopper minecarts and push them all the way against the cobble wall here, like super close, as close as it gets. And yeah, what you want to do now is just simply break this out and let the hopper minecarts fall down, and now you have them perfectly aligned in there. And yeah, it's the only way to drop them in from on top, because if you place some rails around here, you will mess up those rails again, you will update them, and you definitely don't want that. Yeah, and now you're done with this setup. You can wall that in, just like so. Put a wall around, don't forget the lighting where the villagers are. Whoop. And he falls off and never to be seen again. And yeah, obviously you want to come behind here as well and make this really closed off chamber. So to load this, right, if you want to get farmer villagers in, I would recommend you do it in the beginning. Just make sure the track continues here, you know, switch all the track over, and then you just build a track out from here and drop them in from on top, and yeah, put them in there. It's not automated to get them in there. It would be possible. I mean, you could simply just extend the setup here and do another soul send drop trick, but it's not really necessary because those villagers, yeah, you're gonna keep around for a while. So now it's time to do the loading mechanism for the droppers here below. Let's get going. Alright, to load the system, you obviously want to use hoppers, and you want to bring one line over to here. That is for the first hopper, dropper. You want to connect one line there. See, it's facing the second one. Bring it over like that, and another one here for the last one. And also make sure you point them all into each other so it actually works. And yeah, now you want to have some more here, and you want to have some on top, and then you just simply put chests here like this. And yeah, then make sure to have your shulker boxes on top here, or something, you know, that signifies, all right, here is the loading station for the different colored shulker boxes. And of course you would have to hook it up in a way that the right shulker box goes into the right dropper. But yeah, that is obvious, right? And yeah, now you can also close it off here on top. And yeah, if you have the shulker boxes facing you, you can still open them, and you're also able to open the chest. And now you can just close off the floor here. You will never touch that again. And make sure it's really closed off, otherwise you might get other stuff falling in there, or you know, some weirdness. You really don't want that. So that's the loading side. And now yeah, we just need to build the ejection side. So I suggest to have a nice chest array here, you know, like, I don't know, 3 by 3 of chests. That is definitely something you want to have here, like so. And you build that all the way up. Whoop. All the way up. Yep. And yeah, the last part that is missing now is a little item elevator to get the empty shulker boxes in one of those large chests here. Alright, so depending in what chest you want to put stuff, I suggest you take this one here, because you know, less hoppers needed. You need 2 droppers in here actually facing up. So the best way to do that is come down here a little bit and get the droppers in like so. So they're facing up, and yeah, obviously your hopper chain goes into that whole thing. Now you want to go down a little bit further even, and you want to place down an observer facing upwards. So this little smiley face is down here. So now you need to detect if there's something in the system, right? So to do so, you build a little something like that, just like so, and you put a comparator right here that it's reading from here now, redstone dot there, and a sticky piston right there. And last but not least, you want to place an observer facing down, and you can hear this thing is triggering now. That is a clock by these 2 observers, and as soon as there's something in there, pushes it up, and we're done. I mean, you can hear some clicking because this is a trap chest, so maybe don't use a trap chest here, but yeah, it doesn't matter. And now if shulker boxes arrive from the setup over here, they will be pushed back up. So let's grab a shulker box. Let's say that would be an empty shulker box, and flows over here, and then later you can pick them up right in there again. And yeah, now just close off your floor like that. And then there's just some minor cosmetics to be done. I mean, I always recommend putting blocks on top of hoppers in case you mine around here or whatever, and you don't want to have stray blocks in there. And that's it. Yeah, the 2 shulker boxes here on the sides, you know, where you want to store your emeralds. And then lastly, carpets. So when I originally built this thing here, people said, what, the carpets will pop off, and it's not the case. The carpets will stay on there, and then you can do something nice here, you know, however you wanna design it, frame that in. Here we take stuff out, and nothing pops off. It works, trust me. So yeah, and that's it. That's the villager trading hall done. Obviously on top here there's a little gap. You might want to put some light sources up on there so it's closed off. And yeah, happy trading, I'd say. For the trading, we might do an extra video about trading strategies and things like that, because yeah, when I look at villager trading and how a lot of people do it, yeah, it could be done way better. And yeah, now we got a bunch of villagers in there. We need to fill in some minecarts into our system. So obviously you need to preload your chest here with as many minecarts as you want. Come here. Yeah, my middle mouse button is a bit iffy lately. So put a few in there, and yeah, they should get into the system. So you see there's minecarts everywhere. And yeah, let's before you can use it once, you have to trigger the system twice. So trigger it once, so you see it's primed now, and if we trigger it one more time, maybe you can do that method. Yeah, now we're fully operational. As you can see, quick cycle through. We had a few no's, maybe do a yes for a change. Okay, here comes the yes man, and goes into the trading hall and is done. So the way this trading hall is set up, let's say the trading hall is completely full, right? That means this track would be over here. That would just simply make the villager jump down here and sadly get killed. So if you want to prevent that, you might have to get some tracks going somewhere else. But yeah, that's the whole setup, fully functional. And I hope you have some fun building this. If you build this in your world, I would happily have a look. Maybe, tweet it at me. All the info is in the video description. Or if you do a video about it, let me know. Would be lovely to see that thing in other worlds in action. And yeah, we're almost full. 2 more villagers in there to see the reset. So let's do that real quick. Send 2 more in. They go around. Get themselves in position. Oh, did you eject one? Oh yeah, it did. Okay, get another one in here. Alright. And from now on, if we get another one in here, you can see we'll do a full loop and just jump down here. And this guy's doomed now. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave a like, share, tell your friends, do all the good stuff. It was quite tricky to make this tutorial. It's a complex build, and getting everything right on video is always tricky, but I think we did no mistakes. Thanks for watching, my friends. I see you next time. I'm out. Bye.
Bye bye.
A little wave.